Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another exciting edition of Transformers Reviews. And today we are taking a look at none other than Kingdom Airazor, which kind of surprised me because after the end of the Beast Wars, this girl, as far as figures go, never really received much love after the fact. Now, as you can see, she's just kind of sitting there chilling. But what would she look like if she happened to be chilling with her homies? And if we're going to be looking at homies, we might as well look at her boyfriend, because honestly, her and Tigertron are so iconic together. For right now, all we've got is the OG boy, and so this is how they look together. And here she is with the larger assortment of Kingdom figures. Again, matching the aesthetic of the other Maximals. Aside from what we'll look at later on, robot mode, there's not really any intrusive combat ports that really mess up her beast mode. But as a bird, you would think, isn't she obliged to look like she's flying? And she fulfills her obligatory stance quite well. And I gotta say, this looks good. Now, the general molding of the way her wings are shaped does give it more of that organic feel. Back in the 90s, very much you can see the very rough, very blocky. Let's give it a little bit of slack, but we can't give it a tremendous amount. And this is like something that's not even the slightest bit important, but I do kind of find it funny as an homage, is the original Beast one, you could actually open and close her mouth. You can still do the same with her. So again, nothing earth-shattering. One thing that you might have gazed when we were doing the 360 of Airazor is what becomes her robot mode weapons. Now, why am I willing to give this a pass? Because unlike Rat Trap, where it's just egregious and very just kind of lazy and not blending in with this beast mode at all, this, it somewhat feels like it's trying to fit more within her beast mode shape. So that's why I'm willing to give it a little bit more slack than Rat Boy over here. Plus, I just like her as an overall figure. So overall, love her beast mode. But let's see how awesome her robot mode actually is. And here is our homegirl looking sultry like she do. And that's the one thing that I'm really loving about modern figures, is that a lot of them have the posability that you can kind of put them in a pose that matches their personality. In the show, her wings were a lot smaller, but you know what? You know me, I love it whenever they have wings and stuff. So the fact that her wings are as big and as prominent as they can be, and that if you want to go full on like splayed out, you definitely can. Just even from like the detail of her legs and everything, it's really awesome. I've noticed there's 2 ports here, one on each one of her hips, and then one on each of her arms. The instructions actually show that you're supposed to plug them into her wrist like this, which is pretty much accurate to the show, but she did have a gun like in one episode, which as you can see with the older figure, it's, well, I mean, not even that gun looks like the one in the show. You can definitely see how there's vague shapes and similarities to what her screen model is. This looks terrible because when she's standing here next to her Kingdom figure, I mean, there is no comparison. You know, I would be remiss without showing how she looks with her boy, Tigertron. And even though he is about to get upstaged, you know what? It's a good looking shot anyway. So I was sitting there kind of thinking, like, who could we have as Airazor's aerial nemesis? And I was like, well, Waspinator doesn't really fit the bill. Because, like, she kicked his butt in like 5 seconds flat. I feel like maybe we just need a new Kingdom Pterosaur because, you know, vast predatory birds and such. So kind of moving on to the Kingdom side of things here, I want to just show Airazor with the only other prominent female from Beast Wars. Now what's interesting about these figures is that the writers actually intended to have them kind of break off and form their own third faction during the Beast Wars, but alas, it did not happen. My oh my, she looks so good with her Maximal homies. And I gotta say that, it is hitting just right, this entire line. And Airazor is no exception, because just look at how poseable she is. Because for as awesome as she looks in a ground pose with her fellow Maximals, she looks even more awesome when you have her in a flying pose, like she's just raining death and destruction from above. But one of the things that I've always liked about Airazor is just how overall her entire motif, there is no denying what her beast mode is. I mean, how it just is so well incorporated. Always love a cheeky Maximal logo. And yeah, I mean, just overall, this girl's design is tight, it's neat, and the fact that they pulled it off, that is just ever so impressive. And so you can see our girl here at the end of our video. She is there right front in the frame, taking on Black Arachnia in this whole messy chaos of battles. Man, this is the golden age of Transformers. She is one of the top tier best versions of these characters I've gotten. Probably her, Dinobot, and Optimus, as far as just the Maximals go, are really some of the best representations of those three in particular. So we'll have to see if Airazor is any indicator of the next few Beast Wars figures that are going to come out. I'm extremely excited. As you can tell, I'm talking real fast. I hope you guys enjoyed this review of Airazor, and until next time, guys, we will see you in another review.
I'm Airazor. Who are you?
Defender of the colony.